Welcome back. Welcome to the 2024 season, everybody. If you are new to the show, and I see I have a couple of new subscribers on the YouTube channel, thank you. And welcome to the podcast. Welcome to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. We do Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion, but you are listening to BD4. Hope you enjoy this podcast, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. However you came across it, I appreciate that. So to the new subscribers that we recently received on YouTube lately, thank you. If you are returning, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. If you're a Yankees fan who's not a Knicks fan and you're just tuning in after a few months off of baseball, welcome back to Yankees baseball. Welcome to the 2024 season. It's good to see you all coming back, and I'm excited for this year regarding the Yankees, man. I think this team, if they do it right, has a chance to do some really special things. And that's kind of crazy coming from me, who everybody knows me as, I guess, the pessimist. But I really believe this team has a chance to do something. I am... Probably some of it's like the honeymoon phase. The season's just getting underway here in spring training and all that. And I still have some questions. The pitching staff is a giant question to me. But this is a good team. Okay. And we'll talk about it, and I'm very excited for it. So welcome to spring training. We won't be doing a ton of Yankees this spring, but we'll be doing an episode here and there. We have been doing a lot of Yankees lately. So if you haven't checked those episodes out, we've had a few guests on. Check those out. Did some season previewing and predictions and all that stuff. But welcome to the 2024 season. I figure we get right into a few topics today just to discuss what's been going on the last couple of days with the Yankees in camp, how these first couple of games have gone. So we'll get to that right now here on episode 633 of the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. You are listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. Let's get to it.
Anthony for three. On the neophyte. Trying to close the show. She was doing a great job of feeding. That is over. 3,000 history for the next. Coming up, go, KP. Don't you regret not coming to the net? Don't you regret not coming to the net? Game over. World Series over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Welcome back to the show. I appreciate you all tuning in. Spring training has begun in New York, or in Tampa, Florida, for the New York Yankees. Episode 633, Yanks spring training has begun, folks. 31 days as I record this until opening day, where the Yankees will travel to Houston, Texas, to play 4 games. And hopefully they're done cheating and the Yankees can play a fair game over in Houston, Texas. Welcome to the podcast. I appreciate everybody for tuning in to the podcast. I guess the first thing I want to just get out of the way when it comes to the Yankees, I've been getting very excited recently with all the rumors and the reports that have come out. Cashman makes his comment on John Boy saying pencils are not down, and Hal saying they're still looking for starting pitching. Jeff Passan makes the prediction about the Angels or the Yankees will be the likely suitors for Snell. Bill Madden, who knows Randy Levine well, predicting a contract figure that the Yankees would get him at. And then Judge makes those comments. He's kind of smirking as he does. We're not done yet or something like that. There's still something to come. So I got excited that the Yankees were actually going to get Blake Snell. And they still could get Blake Snell. As we speak, he's unsigned. But then yesterday comes, and by yesterday I'm talking about Sunday, February 25th. Kay's doing the game. Curry's in the booth with him. And he brings up the topic of Blake Snell to Curry. Curry shot that shit down. It sounded like. And basically saying that the Yankees' chances, I think the term he used was very remote. Because of Jesus. Curry said the Yankees' chances at getting Snell was very remote, and basically it was because of the tax. Right? The Yankees are being taxed on the dollar. They're now past that third tax threshold. So the CBT, it's a heavy hit. 110% will have to be paid in addition to what they pay somebody. So if they were to pay Snell $30 million for this season, that $30 million is $60 million in change. They'd give Snell 30, and they'd give the other $30 million in change to fund small market teams. That's how the luxury tax works. So that's the reason that the Yankees are probably not going to sign Snell, according to Curry. I've been, I'm trying to temper my expectation with this now. I'm trying not to get too excited anymore after maybe getting a little too excited. I would still, I think the Yankees do need a starting pitcher at some point this season. And I'd much rather it be now than making a trade. Maybe it's just because I've seen a couple of days of Spencer Jones already, and I really like what I see. I would rather save Jones and sign Snell as opposed to, let's say, involving Jones in a package deal for Dylan Cease. Snell would only cost money. Spencer Jones looks awesome. The dude is a giant human. He's being, obviously if you haven't heard by now, don't know where you've been, he's the lefty judge. That's what everybody's calling him. Because he's got that stature and he's got this unbelievable power, but he's a left-handed hitter. And I love the athleticism that he's got. He can move well. Boone's been praising him. I've seen him move. I've seen clips of him. I've read scouting reports. They like this kid's athletic ability. That's why he plays in the outfield. Center field, I believe. I'm excited for this kid. He's only going to put on some muscle as he develops. The dude drove a ball 470 feet to right center field yesterday. Or I don't know if it was a couple days ago for a home run. And he's just 2 games into spring training, and he's 5 for 5 with a homer, 4 RBIs. So if he is kept on in this organization, that outfield is looking pretty fucking good next season. Let's say the Yankees do lock up Soto in the winter. There's your right fielder. Dominguez can play left field. And I think sometime within the next 2 years, the Yankees are going to try moving Judge to first base, go the Bryce Harper route. And then Jones is your center fielder maybe next year at some point. But I do think that Aaron Judge will eventually, they've kind of been slow walking it with reps in practice. And I think, just his comments recently about he's going to have to do maintenance on the foot the rest of his career. He's a big dude. you worry about the health. As he gets older, he is playing center field right now, so I think that'd be smart. Maybe you do see Jones as a September call-up. If you have underachievers, if you have injuries, Rizzo, Stanton, you never do know. Obviously, Dominguez will be the first in line this year. But, yeah, Jones is close. He's still in Double-A. If all goes well, I expect him to make the jump to Triple-A this season. And then we go from there. Now, that all said, as much as I love this kid, I said I'd prefer the Yankees to sign Snell versus trading Jones in a deal. I would still deal Jones if the Chicago White Sox came calling and they're like, hey, Dylan Cease, we're willing to move him. We do want Jones and a couple others. I'm doing that deal. I don't care how unpopular that may sound, because I know it's very unpopular right now, especially currently with what he's been doing. But no, I'm doing that because I still believe prospects are suspects. Now I was, I made the comment on a podcast saying what I just said, and somebody responded to me, well, Cease has a 4.58 ERA. I'm not looking at ERA when I look at Cease, but I'm looking at upside. And I thought that comment was kind of ironic because, Spencer Jones hasn't done anything in the big leagues. You're relying on upside with Jones, too, just like I'm doing with Cease. Potential. We're talking potential for potential. And Cease got it. He's got great stuff. He's a strikeout artist, 200-plus Ks each of the last 3 years, 30-plus starts each of the last 3 years. So he's been durable. And let's not forget, he was in the Cy Young voting in 2022. He's proven himself before. So I would absolutely do it. And he's still got 2 years of control. He's got this year, next year on the contract. So, the more Jones hits, the more I get excited, not just because you have yourself a nice prospect, but you have yourself a guy who's going to get you value in one way or another. Jones is exciting. And I've loved watching him so far. You know who else who's been very exciting? Juan fucking Soto. Let's talk about Juan Soto when we get back from our first break here on BD4. He's been pretty friggin' unbelievable. We'll get to him in a sec. Stay with us. Be right back.
Hey there. Thanks for listening in so far. If you enjoy this episode, please give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much.
Welcome back to the show. Episode 633, of the podcast. Juan Soto looks unbelievable right now. He looks as advertised. Scared the shit out of all of us when he had his potential Aaron Rodgers moment yesterday. Jesus Christ, the first swing the guy took. Rolls his ankle. Ends up being okay. I pissed myself. I was why can't good things happen to me? The first thing I thought of was me being a Knicks fan and having Randall go down with the shoulder issue a few weeks ago. And I'm like, now this? Two top players on each of my teams. And then today, actually, early in the game, he goes for a fly ball and kind of bends his wrist. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. But he looks amazing. The fucking home run off the scoreboard on Sunday. I mean, you really think about it. How many left-handed hitters can go 430 to left center like that with ease? How many guys in the game actually have easy pop like that? Bryce Harper? The list kind of ends there. Like, the kid, he got a fastball up and out, extends his hands, smooth swing, excellent plate coverage, and then from there, it's just, let me show you my tremendous power. He is born to wear the pinstripes. They just look perfect on him. You know? It's the feeling I would have gotten if the Yankees got Harper when they could have. This is that feeling that I have. Now, hopefully they do lock him up, but he looks amazing. And then today he pulls a double up against the wall. Kind of, showboats a little bit. I love it. I love the swag he's going to bring, man. So in 2 games, he's got a homer, a double, a walk, 5 RBIs. Spring training. But, this is what the guy does. He rakes. I was talking to my dad last night about the acquisition of Soto. My dad's a big Verdugo fan. That's the move he's excited for most, and the kid's going to hit. And I think people are underestimating Verdugo. But, he also mentioned to me, Yankees don't need superstars. That's one thing I never understood in all sports. There's this odd stigma where people think superstars are bad. Stars are good. Everybody needs a superstar. Let's not. I can't believe we have to say this. Superstars, pretty good. Role players are role players. They're getting less money for a reason. The Yankees needed a superstar. And they need this guy for the specifics that he brings. They needed last year. After last year, they went into the offseason desperately needing left-handed power and an on-base guy. Right? I mean, look at the left-handed hitters they had last season. Calhoun, Bowers, McKinney, Oswaldo, Greg Allen, Franchi Cordero, Aaron Hicks, Ben Warford, Anthony Rizzo, who had 12 home runs. Those were their lefty bats. Their on-base percentage last year was .304. That was 27th in baseball. Soto is a left-handed hitter who's going to bring you 30-plus homers. He's going to have an on-base percentage of, forget 400, probably 420 or higher every year. I mean, this is a Yankee staple. Every great Yankees team has a Juan Soto type player, a left-handed bopper. And the dude he's such a great hitter. The plate coverage, the eye, impeccable plate discipline. There's never going to be a slump, knock on wood, there's never going to be a slump with Juan Soto, because even if he's hitting a $190 over a certain span, odds are he's probably still getting on base at a close to 40% clip at its worst. The dude just knows how to get on base. He finds his way. And that's an underrated aspect of his game. It's he gets on base because he walks a ton. He can hit at a decent clip. He's won a batting title. I know that was in the COVID year, but last year he did bat .275. The kid can hit. He can walk. He's got power. There's really not much he can't do at the plate. Him and Judge are going to be fucking box office. You can argue all you want about the batting order debate. I don't give a shit. Judge 2, Soto 3, Soto 2, Judge 3. I don't care. Seems like they're going to go Soto in the 2-hole. Now, does that take away the protection for Judge? Sure, but Judge is now protecting Soto. Soto might walk less, but he also now, if that's the case, is going to get more strikes. He might get more fastballs. You now got yourself an automatic base runner for when your 60 home run hitter comes to the plate. You're getting more plate appearances for the guy who gets on base more than anybody in baseball in Juan Soto. The amount of first inning runs, and people who listen to my show know I love first inning runs to jumpstart a game like that. And I'm sure the percentage of teams who score early first win the game the majority of the time. Like, I'm sure it's a good percentage. The Yankees are going to have that. And yesterday we saw that. Verdugo gets the leadoff double. Soto moves him over with the ground ball. Judge gets the RBI. Just like that, all of a sudden the Yankees were up. And I do hope they lead off with Verdugo. If they're going to platoon, that would mean Verdugo gets the majority of those reps because he's going to be hitting versus right-handers. So I'm excited for this lineup. Like people can argue and bitch and moan all they want about some of the veterans and the question marks there. Sure. You got Soto and Judge at the top. All you need is some above average contributions around them. And I think you'll get that with Gleyber Torres. You'll get that with Verdugo. And then you get one of those guys, those veterans, hitting well. And then maybe you take the next steps when it comes to Wells and Volpe. They'll be fine offensively. Now, the other side of things is where you got to make some questions. How do we look pitching-wise? And we'll talk about that when we return from break here on BD4 episode 633. Stay with us. Be right back.
You can follow us on social media as well. On Instagram, we're at BD4Pod and at Rob J. Carbone. On X, we're at BD4Pod and at RJCBD4. And on Facebook, we're BD4.
Yankees pitchers haven't gotten off to the greatest start this spring. You know, Rodon, Nestor, Stroman, there's been a lot of base runners that they're putting on early on. Who cares? It's early in the spring. I'm not putting much weight into it at all. Nestor had some tough luck today. A lot of soft contact, some poor defense. But I thought health-wise he looked fine. He was around 92 to 94. You know, he loaded the bases early on in the game, but he escaped. Ended up going 2 2/3. Couple runs allowed. 7 hits, 4 strikeouts. Thought he looked fine. The cutter looked okay. Stroman, obviously that was the split squad game, so I didn't watch him. But he struggled a little bit. I was listening to a podcast, and they made a good point that Stroman's a guy, he's a kid who throws a lot of pitches. He throws a ton of pitches. So it's going to take him some time to get a feel for all of them. And then Carlos Rodon yesterday wasn't horrible. I want to see a few more starts from him, see what he looks like. He had a couple early strikeouts. Struggled in the second inning. Control kind of got out of rhythm. He was kind of choppy with his rhythm, slow, and it wasn't really in a groove. Couple walks, hit batter. But he escapes the jam. And then I was surprised to see him come back out for a third. But I guess he's being stretched out because he was in camp earlier than most. And he gets 2 quick outs, but then he surrenders the home run. And then that was it for him. 2 2/3, a run on 5 strikeouts. He was throwing similar 92 to 95-ish. Going in on the hands with the fastball. Had some ride to right-handed hitters. Likes going away. Mechanics-wise, it seemed like he was closed off a little more with the front shoulder. Kind of hiding the ball in his delivery. So that might help. But obviously the key for me, we've been talking about this a couple times, is adding a third pitch. And Carlos Rodon has apparently been working on a cutter. And he kind of mixed in the cutter yesterday. He threw 48 pitches yesterday. 5 of them were cutters. He also threw 3 curves, which weren't great. But the cutter it got some mixed results. But I'm just happy to see him mix it in there. 5 times out of 48, it's not a lot. But keep throwing it. You know, he's also got a changeup in his back pocket, so I would like to see him incorporate that into his pitch mix. But it's good to see him, his first outing of the spring, already trying to go to that cutter a little more, and I expect him to throw it a little more and more each time as he gets more comfortable with it. So that to me is going to be the key. Obviously staying healthy, but adding in that third pitch, because you can only go so far in this league with the talent offensively with 2 pitches. You know, especially as a veteran. Because as he ages during this contract, the fastball is going to lose a little velocity. You're going to need some other off-speed and breaking pitches to go to. So we'll see what he does. And that's really it. Some other guys' storylines to watch this spring. That Vivas kid that we got from the Dodger deal, he's been hitting. A lot of people think if the Yankees do let Torres walk, he could be the second baseman next year. Maybe him and Peraza kind of, I don't know, should I say fight for a roster spot this spring? You never know. I don't know where Vivas is in his progression down below. I don't know if he's in AA or AAA yet, but a name to keep an eye on. Ben Rortvedt versus Austin Wells. Again, personally, I think you have to put Wells on the roster. Ben did have a nice game today, both sides. George Lombard Jr., 18-year-old first-round pick, 26th overall. Used the opposite field yesterday for a home run. Yankees fans are all over that. Obviously, the Giancarlo Stanton storyline. He's looking lean. Apparently made slight tweaks to his mechanics, to his batting stance. It was hard to tell, but I did see a side-by-side on Instagram. Shoulder more level. His shoulders were more level. It's the lower base that I can see the difference in. It just seems more balanced. He's not putting as much weight on the back leg or on the front leg, and the bat's a little more vertically pointed. But I want to see more reps. I want to see what he looks like. He hit hard contact today, so I'm not worried about the power. Some people are worried about the power with the weight drop, but he's fine there. I just stay healthy, get on base. We'll see. Jason Dominguez took some swings today. He continues to progress, working from the right side right now. I think next week they said he's going to start hitting from the left side. Seems like he's making an early return. I'm still trying to temper expectations there because the Yankees do have the depth to where they can slow walk it. They might put him in AAA when he's healthy just to get some reps, but you never know. With injuries, with veterans underachieving, like he could see himself on this roster in June. And this, listen, the excitement about Soto, very similar to the excitement I have whenever Jason Dominguez's name comes up. This fucking kid. I've actually compared him to Juan Soto before. I think he's got that type of potential. I do. The kid can mash fastballs. I mean, he turned Justin Verlander's off the first swing he took in his major league career. He turned it around. He's got good plate discipline. Got some speed. Switch hitter. Got an arm. He's gonna be a good fucking player. I'm excited to see where he ends up in the batting order. I would love for him to eventually, this is maybe more next year, lead off. Could you imagine a leadoff, a first inning where you got Dominguez at 1, Soto, and then Judge? I think when he gets back, if he gets back, he'll probably be lower in the order, maybe 7th, which pretty fucking good. You get Dominguez, Soto, Dominguez, and Wells and Volpe, and you go to the top. Volpe. Also some tweaks. Apparently, has a new swing path. Last year, he was very uphill with the swing, and led to a lot of strikeouts. This year, it's from what I've seen so far, it looks like he's got a little better of a posture in the stance. He's not dropping down, and the swing is a little more level. And that's what I've been emphasizing for months now, right? More contact needs to be emphasized on a 2-strike count. Less of the home run focus, less of the focus on launch angles. If Volpe can learn to live with ground balls because of his speed, that's fine. He'll beat some grounders out that'll end up being singles. If he can get on base, he can steal a base. And if he steals a base, that means he's in scoring position. And if he's in scoring position, you got, again, Soto and Judge looming at the top of the order coming up. I mean, so it's. I want to see as he gets more reps what the swing truly looks like. Boone saying it's evident. That was the term he used. It's more level. So hopefully that can lead to more line drives, more doubles, and again, don't look at the ground ball as the devil. If you have to hit a ground ball to the left side of the field, as opposed to trying too much to uppercut and get it up in the air, that's fine because the kid has the speed. So fuck the analytics when it comes to that. Get on base. Get on base. Don't hit the home run. Get on base. You'll run into some home runs in this ballpark. You're 5'9" and $180. Just get on base. You have the speed. The Yankees need home run. The Yankees have enough home runs. They need on-base percentage from you. They need slugging. They need batting average. Less strikeouts, some doubles, some stolen bases, because that did drop off in the second half with Volpe as he got on less. Those are all statistics that Volpe was not great in last year. So I want to see that. Take the walk. Take the contact. Take the double over the home run. Take the ground ball over a strikeout. Defensively, we haven't seen him get many reps yet there, but hopefully he got stronger with the arm. Another podcast I was listening to made a good point about the right side of the infield being weak with their arm strength. You got LeMahieu, who doesn't have the greatest arm, and you got Volpe. Has he worked on his transfers? Has that been improved? So, we'll see. I'm very excited for the season. Spring training just underway. 20-something more games remaining. Probably won't have a bunch of episodes out during the next few weeks, but see what we can fit in. Let's get to our final break, wrap it up with our trivia. Stay with us.
If you're interested in our website, just go to www.bd4blog.com. You can subscribe to our blog on there right on the front page. Just like on the podcast, we cover Yankees, Knicks, and MMA. Also on our website are the links to the different platforms for the podcast. Thanks so much.
Studio 69 Productions is a podcast production agency created by Leo Rodriguez to allow content creators to market their podcast. It's an online platform that will market your podcast or any other project that you're working on. Get in touch with Leo Rodriguez from Studio 69 Productions. You can find Studio 69 Productions on Instagram at Studio69NJ. Studio 69 Productions, where dreams are heard and born.
Thanks for listening to BD4. where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA, Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion.
Okay, welcome back. Let's wrap this thing up with our trivia. All right, our trivia question for episode 633 here. Which Yankee hit the first ever home run in the Astrodome? So it's a little tribute to that cheating Astros team. Got a little bit of an Astros question. Which Yankee hit the first ever home run in the Astrodome? As my camera unfocuses. What the hell is that? I hate when it does that. I'm like OCD. But that's it, folks. Which Yankee hit the first ever home run in the Astrodome? Jesus, this focus is terrible. I don't know. We're going to have to end the show. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. I'll see you soon. We'll be talking Knicks for 6:34. Knicks Pistons tonight. So we'll see what happens there. 31 days till opening day, folks. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.
Hey there! If you stayed the entire way through, we thank you immensely for it. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and that you come back for the next episode real soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, download these episodes, and share them with your friends as well. BD4 is a 5-star podcast simply because of you. And we'd like to keep it that way. Have a wonderful day. Go Yankees and go Knicks!